Coming up next on the Jeff Crilley Show, after you meet my next guest, you will never be thirsty for tap water ever again. You'll meet the CEO of Watermill Express next.
Many are predicting that the worst is yet to come, which is unfortunate, said one person here. Until now, they've enjoyed the reputation of being the nation's icebox.
Watched a burglar in his home this morning by webcam.
As a journalist of over 25 years, stories are what make my world turn.
Reporting live from the Dallas newsroom tonight, Jeff Crilley, Fox 4 News.
But in 2008, I took the jump from my familiar life and started a PR firm from my home.
We're talking about anyone with a camcorder like the one I'm using becomes a television network.
We started slowly growing the company, and we now have over 100 clients, and we've branched into the world of live digital broadcasting. I now own 8 different TV studios and have a huge team, and the stories that I now get to share are sometimes the most important of my life. Life has a funny way of coming around full circle. This is the Jeff Crilley Show.
So my wife is addicted to Evian water, and my big responsibility to keep the house at peace is to order at least 2, sometimes 3 cases of these 2-liter bottles of Evian because she's convinced it's the best tasting water in the world. But she has not tasted water from Watermill Express, and the CEO, Mike Gallagher, is in the studio right now. Mike, thanks for coming on the show.
Thank you, Jeff. Appreciate the opportunity.
Absolutely. Okay, so what is Watermill Express?
Yeah, so Watermill Express is one of the largest retail concepts. It's a self-service kiosk where you can purchase water and ice, refill your own container, and refill your cooler or take a bag to drive up convenient format. We've got 1,300 locations across the country. We go from California all the way to Florida, and we actually have over 740 locations here in Texas.
And you were giving me an analogy before the show about just how pure it is. I mean, compare it to, Plano's Finest, and then Evian, and then yours.
Yeah, look, I don't know Evian's specific water filtration process, but what I would tell you is that our process is significantly different. We call it a 12-step water perfection process. Before our water goes into even the kind of standard water treatment methods, we do a pre-treatment process. And some of these are really material in how it treats the water and ultimately gives you a pure product, as we like to say. It starts with a 5-micron filter, and if you think about the size of 5 microns, because it's really, really small, is that a human hair is typically 50 to 70 microns in size. So we're pulling out sediment that is actually smaller than a human hair before we even get started.
Yes.
Right? And from there, it goes into an ion exchange, pulls out some viruses, bacteria, other contaminants that are in the water, some chemicals that are there. And then it goes into active carbon. A lot of people are familiar with active carbon because active carbon is, that's your Brita water filter. So that's your refrigerator, freezer filter. Again, this is still in the pre-treatment process. Comes out of that active carbon, and then it goes through what we call a 1-micron filtration filter. That 1 micron size is really, really tiny. In fact, a human red blood cell is between 5 and 7 microns in size. So we're pulling out sediment and bacteria that's smaller than the human red blood cell.
Yeah, and a friend of mine was just telling me a story how when she goes to take a bath, she finds sand in the water. I mean, how is that even possible?
Yeah, it happens a lot. In fact, if you were to measure municipal water, virtually anywhere in the country, you're going to see that water is, anywhere from 300 parts per million to maybe 1,500, even 2,000 parts per million, just coming straight out of the tap. There are some communities where that's going to be a lot worse, and some communities where it's obviously going to be a little bit better. When you look at our water as it's going through this 12-step perfection process, we're going to make sure that your water being delivered is less than 40 parts per million, and in most cases, the total dissolved solids are going to be somewhere around 2 to 10.
Wow, that's incredible.
Yeah.
We're going to pull up your website, and as we scroll down the website, where did this fascination with pure water come from for you?
Yeah, so it really started when I was approached about the concept. I've had a need for water, really my entire life. We all have a need for it, and I've been exposed to both good and bad water. I've lived in Europe, lived in big metropolitan areas across the country, and we have varying degrees of water. In fact, I lived in South Florida, and the water came out of the tap a yellowish or green color.
Oh my goodness.
Which is really frightening, right? Because water should not have a color.
Right.
Water in its purest form should be crystal clear, have no odor, no color, and no taste. So I fell in love with this concept when I found out about it, because now we're delivering a really great product in a simple, easy-to-use format, and we're only doing it in 8 states. Well, there's 50 states across the country, so I knew that we had an opportunity to really share this concept and the pure water that we delivered to the whole country.
And I bet it's a lot cheaper than me ordering cases of Evian.
By far. Our water on average is 35 to 40 cents a gallon, so significantly cheaper than Evian.
Wow. Okay, you've got a number of videos on your Instagram page. Let's go ahead and roll one.
Hi, so my name's Dave. I've been with Watermill for 8 years, and I'm here to show you today how to get water from one of our units. So today, I'm going to use tokens. We take tokens in dollars. The newer units will also, on the other side, they actually have credit card machines. You can do tap to pay. So what I do is I set this in the bay here. I aim it right directly underneath the dispenser. All right, since I'm vending 5 gallons, I'm going to hit the 5-gallon button. Let's just make sure that this is all lined up. Now these units come with what's called fast pour. So it should fill a 5-gallon bottle in about 35 seconds. And that's it, 5 gallons.
So it's that easy, and I imagine it keeps a lot of water bottles out of the landfill.
That's exactly right. I mean, the beauty of it is that easy. You take up your own container. We have 1, 3, and 5 gallon water SKUs. So you can buy 1 gallon, 3 gallons, or 5 gallons. You take your own bottle, you fill it up, and then you turn around and put it right in your car. You were to do that in a store, and you either exchange it or even use a refill kiosk inside the store, you're having to take what could be a 35-pound bottle of water and then put that in your car. So you've got to take it all the way out to your car, lift it up. It's a much more complicated and difficult process. If you're buying multiple gallons of water, let's say you're trying to buy 20 gallons of water, and you're doing it over multiple bottles, you have to take all of that out to your car. With our concept, you're right there. You're pulling up to where it's actually getting refilled.
And as we saw on the website, you also do ice. So we've got a little video we're going to roll, and I want you to kind of narrate this for us. So the purification process for water and ice are the same.
Yeah, that's exactly right. Before we even make our ice, we purify it. So it's got to go through that 12-step water perfection process, and then we make ice. Why that matters and why that's so different from how most consumers buy ice is that no human hands ever come in contact with the ice. So when you're actually getting our ice, it's being delivered in a bag or into your cooler that you insert under it. No human hands have ever come in contact with it. If you think about just going to a convenience store or a grocer and you're buying ice, well, that ice has had to be packed and then shipped to the location, and it's going into a freezer, out of a freezer, to a cooler, out of a cooler, to the cash register, back to the customer, and then to your car. So you have a lot of opportunities for that ice to get contaminated, even if it's just on the outside of the bag. Ours, that never happens.
Okay, so has this been a pretty easy sell to the landlords out there? Because I know you were describing before the show, you only take up like 2 parking spots in a strip mall?
Yeah, that's right. Look, when you're talking about real estate and multi-unit real estate, which is what we're doing at scale, it's never easy. There's always a complicated story behind it. But what is easy is the opportunity for the landlord to take otherwise unused space and actually grow their business and grow their rent portfolio. We do effectively a ground lease. So it's the same thing you would see in the restaurant space or any other freestanding pad. And it is literally 2 parking spaces. Our box takes up roughly 15 by 15 feet. And the amazing thing about our box, unlike some of the competitors out there, is that it's made out of reinforced concrete. So you've got 4 to 6 inches of true concrete reinforced with steel with all the equipment that is behind it. In fact, our units are manufactured in Colorado and then shipped to the location. That goes on site. You now have a structurally sound building that's going to last for decades. not just a year or two. Some of the competition that's out there, they use inferior products, they use aluminum or other metal products that end up breaking down over time and with weather and water, because water is very corrosive.
Sure.
And that creates a problem for the landlord if they have leaky parking spaces or, leaky units.
And I have to imagine you're bringing new customers to that strip mall that might not otherwise frequent it.
Yeah, there's no doubt. And what's really amazing when you think about our customers, so our customers on average are visiting our locations 6 times a month. This is habitual for them. What's even more amazing about that is that roughly about 35% of our customers have used us for more than a decade. So not only do they love our water, and that's a testament to how good our water is, they're coming back to the shopping center time after time after time. So we pair really nicely with other retail concepts, grocers, and others where people are, looking to have a customer base and recurring customer base.
What are some of the nicest compliments you've gotten since you've been the CEO?
Yeah, look, I think the best compliment we get is that we've got the purest water on the planet. And we stand behind our water. And I think what's really cool about how much we do stand behind it, if there's ever a time that you're not satisfied, we'll replace it or refund it. So that'll happen every single time. But more so, we know our water is such high quality that our equipment actually will shut the unit down if it doesn't meet our own standards.
Wow.
So here we are taking water that's FDA approved, purifying it to make sure that it pulls out those PFAS permanent chemicals, pulls out the fluorides and the chlorines and all the other stuff that gets in the water, and then gives you an ultimately clear product. And if it doesn't meet our standards, the customer can't buy it at all.
Wow. Congratulations on your success, Mike. We only have about a minute left, so final thoughts. What would you like to leave people with?
Yeah, try us. That's, I think, the biggest thought. For 35 cents, I guarantee you're going to get the best gallon of water you've ever had. And once you try us, I'm confident you'll come back.
Outstanding. You've been an amazing guest. Congratulations on everything that you've achieved so far, and I think you're just getting warmed up.
Thank you.
We're going to leave you with the website, which is, of course, watermillexpress.com. The great Mike Gallagher. Thanks for coming on the show.
Thank you.
You bet. That's it for now. We'll see you next time.